Yo, so guys, Bryce here, and we're back at it again with another video. In this video, guys, I will be showing you a hot lap guide plus a setup to Monza. So this Temple of Speed is very fun. It is definitely easy to learn, but for sure hard to master, and one of the hardest tracks that I've had to practice on, just because overall as a track to get fast, you need to get every corner just perfect. And every corner leads onto a straight, so you need to get as good an exit as you possibly can. So let's get started. So coming out of the Parabolica, get as fast as an exit as you possibly can, DRS as early as you can, as always. Braking very late into turn 1, taking as much first curb and not so much on the second curb, short shifting to avoid wheel spin. You can lose time and gain time in this first corner. It is very key to get a quick exit, but also try not to get wheel spin. For this next curb, you have to abuse the track limits, taking as much curb as the inside, and on the outside curb is very easy to get the gravel, so be careful with that. Going into the Lesmos, keeping it as smooth as possible on the power as early as you can. For the second one, same thing, and just keep it smooth and as fast as you can, DRS as open as you can. For this long straight underneath the tunnel, we have this next corner, keeping it as smooth as possible, short shifting and avoiding wheel spin, attacking it, and the key to that corner is keeping it as smooth as you can and keeping the consistency of the speed. Obviously this is not my quickest lap. I had a little fishtailing coming out of the corner. So far my fastest lap is a 119.058, so almost 119 flat. I've been trying to get into 118s. I should be able to get it by the time this video is up, and that is a lap of Monza. Now for a more in-depth guide. Now going down to turn 1, this very hard right-hander, brake at the 100 meter board just before it. You don't want to brake too late because then it'll ruin the entry. Try to turn in once the green strip on the left starts, taking as much curb as you can. What I like to do is I try to get my right tire just over the orange strip on the curb, short shift into 1 and then go back into 2, and try not to take too much curb on the left because it can slow you down. And again, as good as an exit as you can. You may be able to get into the corner quickly, but once you get onto the straight, you may lose time, so every corner leads to a long straight. I usually brake at the 100 once again. Once you pass the curb on the right hand side, short shift and go into third gear over this curb and try to get over as much as you can of the next curb, staying in third, then short shifting into fourth. Avoid the gravel on the left, super easy. Braking right after the 50 meter board, turn the brake bias down to 54 as hard as you can on the throttle. Braking after the 50, again, same thing, fourth gear, as much curb as you can, and as smooth as you can. DRS for this long straight. Usually just try to keep it as straight as possible. Underneath the tunnel, this corner is super hard. Brake right after the 100 meter board into fourth. Try to take as much curb on the left without losing time and getting your lap invalidated. I had a bit of wheel spin, as you can see, so that definitely slowed my lap down a bit. For this long straight in Parabolica, just throw it in, braking right after the 50, fourth just to get a bit more turn in, and fifth, and keep it as smooth as possible. And again, go to the right hand side to minimize the distance to the line. And that lap right there gives me a 119.071. Definitely one of my quickest, but still not into the 118s. So now for the setup, for the aerodynamics, I use 2-2 wings. I have tried 1-2 wings. It does work too, but it just depends on personal preference. Transmission, 50-70. I sometimes use 50-75. Again, personal preference. Suspension geometry, right, left. That's usually a common thing for time trial setups. Front suspension, 1-2-6-9, 1-2. This works really good, and especially for the ride height and the suspension. There's a lot of curbs on this track, and you want to be able to abuse them as much as you can. So a soft suspension will definitely improve that. For the brakes, personal preference, but I usually use 80-56 for my pedals that I have. And for the tire pressures, 23.4 and 22.3. This works very good for a time trial setup. Make sure you do check out my Twitch. The link will be in the description. I'll be doing some live streams in the upcoming weeks, so definitely check that out. I'll be streaming on Twitch and on YouTube. So make sure you go check that out, and I will let you guys know when I'll be streaming. And I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next video, guys. Bye bye.